What's up, guys? Hope everything is good with you. Today, let's talk about Bitcoin again. Let me just inform some messages real quick. Oh. What's up, guys? And turn that sound off. Thank you. I'm live now. I was opening something on the left. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So I will be making this small now instead of doing it 15 minutes later. What's going on with Bitcoin? We did a former stream on Friday and basically been talking about what's coming on the weekend. And now that it's weekend, Sunday, what can we expect for upcoming week? Hello, Dave. Glad to see you here again. I'm gonna talk about what's happening and what we are looking at. So let's dive into the 3 days. If we zoom out, we are still in a uptrend on the big scaled time zone. I want this arrow to be removed. There we go. So we made that uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. We even created this all-time high, and we did that on May, the Thursday, 22 of May. But comparing all of the impulses up, like this impulse, and then this impulse, we see that the momentum has been reduced big time. So, like, let's say from this point to that point, 170%. From this point to that point, 90%. From this point to that point, 44%. So the momentum of the price is reducing. We created this trend line. Let me remake that trend line real quick. Yeah. So we have this trend line here that it created from here to there, let's say. Let's put a little bit there. Trend line. So price has been going up, touching the trend line, going up, touching the trend line, going up. And with the momentum now again, we could potentially go down. And then I'm talking about 85k. Then I'm talking about 96k. These 2 points. We broke the trend line on the daily. So this is the daily trend line that we have. Trend line, there we go. Where also we've created higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. And what happened now? We created that first lower low. Over here we didn't have it exactly, but here we do. What can we expect now? We can expect price to go up again. So we have the indication that price is shifting towards the downside. And we need that confirmation now. So we need to make a lower high. Well, for those that trade on patterns, let's remove these drums real quick. And this as well. For those that create patterns, they can see many things already. Even I do. Because what I wanted for a long time already is for this to be a shoulder, this to be a head, and this to be a shoulder. And then price going down. We didn't do that exactly. So instead we made that double top, neckline, price broke down, retest, continuation down. In the meanwhile, we have this trend line broken. 90% of a trend line being broken, it wants to retest the moment where it broke the trend. And especially with a impulse down. So this is an impulse down. We call it a gap. Some people call it oxels in the Netherlands. I'm calling it a gap for now. So what we want to see with a trend line breakout like this, we want to see the price break down, retest, fill this gap, give our indication confirmation that we create that lower high, and then we want continuation down. And this could be price down towards 94, 96. This could be price down even towards 85. So these are important price actions for this coming, well, I think for the month. Let's say, how many days? Yeah, maybe in 2 or 3 months. Like for now, I think in a week we will do this, go up, maybe 1 or 2 weeks, let's say. And I think by the end of June, beginning of July, that we can see, okay, we are going into a downtrend. Right now, I have a feeling that we are going to create the inverse head and shoulder pattern, breaking out, retesting, breaking out, forming some sort of pattern again to reverse the price for the continuation down. So nicely drawn. I want to see this happening in the next coming 2 weeks. Yesterday we didn't make that higher high. We did touch the black line, the level that I spoke about earlier. And then it closed the daily a bit below. But for now, on the daily, we have been breaking this trend here. For now, for today, we need this candle to be closing above this black line. Why? If it creates this lower low, like it closes the candle below this orange line, so below 105.550, there is a possibility the price could go down already. Because right now, we have this shift as well. Indication, confirmation, another lower low. See? So the thing that we want on the 3-day, where we created this first indication, now we need the confirmation to create that lower high, already happened in the daily. But in the daily, we still want to see it reach this gap before it could go down. So there's 2 options here for the Bitcoin, in my eyes. One is this one, of course. I will just move it to the left real quick. Yeah. And the second one is this one. I'll make this one green for you. and this one red. So these two are possible as we speak. However, with Monday opening tomorrow, I haven't dived into the news. I also don't trade on news, I trade on gaps based. And the trend line, I've been waiting for this entry since end of May. Well, yeah, end of May, indeed. So roughly 2 weeks from now. I wanted this retest. And I was hoping for it to be over here. But this was the retest on this wick from that double top. So I had some things open. Let's clear this. So this is what I had in mind originally, where I can add marching to my entry. Looks familiar, seemed familiar behavior before. Mask had a crash due to wallet hack. Take a look when you can. Mask? Is that a coin as well? I'll dive into it after this one. I'm almost done with this. Yeah, so this is what I had in mind. I might have to just start making folders like the other one's doing, because this is a bit chaotic. It's fine, we got this. So I am in a long as we speak, and I'll get the prices at the moment as well. Positions, yeah, so I am in a long on Bitcoin. Oh. 20% at the moment, but my target eventually is here. And I am also edging as soon as this price closes a bit lower, because I want to see this price action hitting my gap first, then push up. And why am I saying this? Is simply because on the daily as well, and I think it's the hourly, correct me if I'm wrong, yes, the hourly. On the hourly we created this downtrend, and eventually, yes, we got this double, well, I mean the inverse head and shoulder pattern that I'm looking at, but it's also breaking the trend line here. And as always, a trend line wants to be broken and retested. So right now on the hourly there's an open gap over here. If you zoom out on the daily, there's a gap over there as well. So I wish for Bitcoin to get over here for today, retrace down towards 104,277, something like that, 104,300, let's say, and then I want to see it go back up again to continue the trend line breakout. Most of the times the trend line breaks out towards, let's say, 50 or 75% of that line, so where it started. And from that point, I am seeing a 1 hour gap over here and a daily gap over here, including the 1 hour, which means that I am more interested in this, like in this price action, instead of this top section, because then we are at the 110, 690. Yeah. So I am more interested in this level over here. I'll just put it there. Okay, let me correct this. There you go. The 108,800. So this is confirming my situation. Like, I want this head and shoulders to be created. Yeah, I want it to be created like this. The trend line is confirming my ID. And now I wish to see it create that retest for continuation. Are there any questions on Bitcoin here? God, it's pumping. That's good. I am long on multiple coins until I see a retracement of this happening, you know? And I can go over the other coins that I have as well, which is ADA, Gala, NEAR, and XRP. My XRP is at 86%. I wasn't paying attention. Okay. I'll dive into Mask real quick. Mask USDT. Let's pick this one. And I'm always zooming out. And I love the fact that I have a bunch of data here. Because a coin like Sui, you have no data. Not much. So let's dive into Mask. Open the 3-day. And what do we see on the 3-day? Oh. Do you ever notice there are times when alts follow Bitcoin and others they don't? Yeah, I do. There are some coins, but most of them react the same as Bitcoin. So we are following a kind of downtrend here, where this is the following trend and it's dumping. Holy crap, in the last 3 days it's been dumping hard. So this is the trend line on the 3 days. Let's see, 1 day. Yeah, we can drag the same line, okay. And the lower lows are still being created, same as the lower highs. Okay, and then we're gonna dive into daily gaps, starting from here. Template, 1 day gap. Trading on gaps is like gambling, huh? Trading gaps doesn't work, blah blah blah. I'm telling you, it is this simple. Seeing gaps that want to be closed. Whenever this trend line will be breaking out soon, I hope. And I'm saying I hope because there's no much data below here. Just like TIA, there's no more data below. Yeah, this is having a big dump. Major crash here. End of May, beginning of April. Was there news beginning of April? 1st of April? Okay. So it has tried to get back up. Oh. It has tried to get back up, but it didn't create that higher high. Yeah, maybe on this wick. but based on the daily, in order for price to move, basically, it had to break and stay above here. Yeah. And what it could have done right now, no. So it did create a higher here, like this on the daily has been closed. That's a fact. So taking this long from the daily earlier, yeah, well, it doesn't really matter anymore. So taking this long, I would have TP'd from over here already. Bless you. Which would have been 100% already. You saw it yesterday. Nice. Well, if you traded this one, if you shown this to me earlier, and I would have set this, you could have doubled your income without any leverage. But if I were in this long, yeah, this would be my first TP. I would want to see a retracement on this price level, because this price level is also what I just said, a level. Good job. So yeah, I wanted to see it create. Yeah, I wanted to see it go down here and then continuation up. But it is at a 1-day gap at the moment, which is give me a nice color, purple. So it is at this daily close, like the daily gap now. So combine this gap with this level would have been a nice retracement to go back on and then continuation up, yeah? But it didn't. It smacked right through. If you're trading, always wait for your confirmation, especially on the daily, because you have 24 hours to think about it, you know? And as you can see, 3 days in total, because it hit with a wick. It didn't create that higher. It closed over here. Get out of it. Wait for it to do something else, which it did. It retested today. And now we need to see it move. Like, close over here. Make sure it doesn't close over here. So this is a important... This is a important one for now. This we call closed. I'll remove this because it was annoying a bit. So this is an important level at 1.678. Write it down. Make sure it doesn't close below. Otherwise it is not valid. And yes, it could go with a wick over here and then can like push up. But this is a risky one because it has dumped so hard already. I think if you're calling an indicator with it, let's say RSI, it's gonna say like, oh, it's not even oversold properly. Okay. So this will be your entry, or this here. I'm making this line for you here. But I'm not convinced on this one. And that is simply because all of the rest is going, well, this one isn't. On the right. And CBCN has the same. Has the same. Well, Bitcoin is, you know, pushing through. So you got enough on this, Dave? Make sure it closes over here before you enter. And if you do enter, make sure that your Stop loss is good, as in no, I'm really not convinced on this. Perfect wick entry on this hourly, but don't close below here. It is risky. Don't close below here. Okay. Bitcoin is pushing, baby. Okay. Ethereum. What's Ethereum doing? Still doing what I tell her to do. We are in a small uptrend, making higher highs, higher lows. Zoomed out on the daily. Let me remove these real quick. Zoomed out on the daily. We had this massive TA made end of April 23 of April. And we had an impulse of 52% already. We have been touching this level and this price gap of 270.60 with a wick on the daily. And as of right now, I am also seeing lower lows being made. So lower high, lower low. Okay. What I wish for Ethereum to do based on this trend line that we're having, it broke out. What's going to happen with a breakout of a trend line? Yes, a retest, continuation up. And if it breaks through, like if the retest is happening, let's say over here, I want to enter a long, and I will focus on maybe even 360, 3600 or even higher, back towards the all-time high. So we could go over here, especially because there's a bunch of information already on it. So here you have a lot of areas with resistance. Here you have the same. So this will be a hard one to break through, but this will be my target. That will be my target. But for now, on the daily, I have my alarm set over here. I still need to place the short order here, but I will do it soon. Maybe even tonight. Because I want this price to go down and make the retest for continuation up. And I have noted this gap in here as important because it pushed through like a rocket. This still has some value, which is why I drawn the short position here to close the gap, retest, and get a resistance on this important level, aka the old gap. Make some sort of a double bottom or something, and then continuation up. But if it doesn't, and if it breaks through here, and we continue to make a higher high based on this, so we create a new higher high over here, we can look for a retest on the gap where we can enter, and then continuation up towards 3240. Yeah, sorry, I didn't know earlier. Jimmy or XCN, wait for other requests first. CBN still wrong. I had a colleague in 2020. He said you should go into Ethereum. 2020, 2021 or something, where the price was still down over here, let's say 300. He told us to buy, and I wasn't convinced. Well, price went over here. Now he's having a nice house. So hodling Ethereum, like, I think it's a good idea, but that's the same of Bitcoin. However, Bitcoin is currently at its all-time high. Why would you invest now? Well, there's a chance of Bitcoin going down for a while. And then this is what I hope. I hope for it to go down and then continuation up, right? But what if it goes down and it continues to go down? You're gonna be having a shit year if you're hodling from here and price is over here, right? So you always hear the terms like buy low, sell high. Don't do the other way around. Don't buy high and don't sell low. Okay, so yeah, I'm waiting for confirmation first, because this is a level. We have the gap as well. I'm waiting for confirmation, and if it makes that higher high, I am not convinced to go short yet. Then I'm looking at this important moment, important, and this important. If it creates that higher high here, we can have a possible continuation up. Yes. Then I'm currently in near from this position, where same as Bitcoin, we are forming a retest. We broke through this trend line. We broke through this trend line. Can't even speak nowadays. And I wanted the retest to be happening over here, but it happened with a wick. I wasn't convinced yet, so I didn't place the order here. Well, if I did, then I would be happy for a while, but then price would retrace down and I will be in the minus. So I wasn't convinced yet to take the long here, but it went towards the next gap and it closed perfectly. And if you drew a line from these 2 points, like just based on these 2 points, I'm looking at those 2 points. Okay, I'm slightly off, I have to say. Maybe the first one. Let's try it again. You know what I mean. It is still a trend line. Combine it with the gap entry here. And here I have my confirmation. We didn't make that lower low. Like, we didn't go below here, which is a nice rule for me. Okay, possibly good entry for the long. And then especially with that close over here, perfect long. And right now on this coin, I went in a bit later over here, where this is currently my holding, and still popping. I want this price to also close this gap, make some sort of a retest on price over here, just like it did before. Create that inverse head and shoulder, just like Bitcoin. And then I want to have it push through this trend line up. XCD is moving up for me. Took a few days, thanks for you. It is? XCD. Oh. Yeah, this was a good one, but not a perfect one. Yeah, I think this is the one with not... Oh, wait, it does, yeah. Oh. Yep, okay. Sorry, I'm a bit... There you go, okay. I'll dive into it in a minute, okay? Still on near. I wish for near to break through. Yeah, just like Bitcoin, retrace a bit, continuation down, break to the trend line. Focusing on 3.2. Well, yeah, 3.193. And then for continuation down. And that is because... Why is that? Oh, yeah. It's a possibly short. Because we have been creating these lower highs. So it might be even possible for price to stop over here. Create that new lower high. If you know what I mean. So this is the option. But this is also possible. But then again, this is a 3-day, this is daily. Yeah. If it closes over here, like if it pushes through and closes over here, still creating that lower high, I am still happy. And then this continuation down could potentially go back towards the 1.006, where this impulse has been starting. Like either this one or this one. Okay. Most coins follow Bitcoin market dynamics, so trading more than 1 or 2 coins at once, it is advisable. Yes and no, because I'm gonna show you the difference. Like Bitcoin is having this inverse head and shoulders, yeah. Well, I wanted to make that pattern basically. Well, Ethereum isn't. Near, I want to have this do the same. However, Bitcoin is already over here. And this altcoin isn't yet. So it will either take a bit longer for it to do exactly the same. However, it is moving whenever Bitcoin is moving up as well. But whenever we have Ripple, XRP, where this was my position Friday, and right now we are pumping. This is my position on it now. But what is it doing now? Let's remove this pattern. If it closes over here, this inverse head and shoulders. No, I'm gonna let it run like this. You know why? Because I want to see it close this candle here. I mean this gap. Let it close this gap. Retrace for that retest on the trend line. You know, we have this trend line here. Yes, potentially could have been a head and shoulder like this. But I want to see it close this for today. And then I want to see it retest the impulse here. Over here. Perfect long, if you ask me. But I've been looking into Ripple for a longer time now. As you can see, we really had to have this push. So this trend line got broken. It got up, closed this gap, but I wanted to see the retest happening either over here or over here. And it's been doing it exactly as predicted, which is why I am still in this long. But I want to see it close over here now. Retest, continuation up. So multiple coins are acting differently. Like Bitcoin is pushing through that level, and Ripple is doing the same. Well, Near isn't. Then we have Gala, same situation. I am still in Gala as well, where Friday we had 50%, and as of today we are running at 25%. Where over here I want to see it create that head and shoulders and then break through the line, focusing the 0.02210. You can see that, right? Yeah, you can. Now as well? Yeah. So this is still my position I'm holding up. However, I have been reducing my my margin on this one because it wasn't following my guidance. Like, it wasn't pushing as hard as the rest was, and my entry on this is also a bit higher. Oh, what? Sometimes, okay. My entry is at 0.1592. Yeah, so my entry is kind of late, and I'm just gonna be honest with you. So I took 60% off or 75% off. I still want to have it push through here, but that was because I wasn't seeing any good things happening over here. So what I'm doing now, I want to see it go towards here. Then I'm gonna take off 50% again. Then I'm gonna wait for the retest. And here I'm going to be adding my margin. Because if I do it now, and price goes up, but goes down, then I'm in bigger problems because my entry is even higher. So sometimes not going in with full margin isn't wrong. Like, even now I'm not even, I think maybe less than 5% in. And going fully on a altcoin also plays with your mentality. Because the percentages go faster. I'm only trading below 10 or 15 leverage, but I'm deciding those leverages on my liquidity as well. Because if I'm going long over here and my liquidity is over here, or even over here, a simple wick can liquidate me. And right now I think my liquidation is all the way over here on a safe location, that whenever price is going to retrace, and instead of following this pattern, it is going to go down even more, I can take off bits and re-enter. So let's say price is going back down here. I'm going to be taking off, let's say, 75%. If I'm seeing a retracement for price to go up, let's say over here, I can add back more margin than I lost for my entry to be right here instead of right here. So yes, you're taking a bit of a loss, but you're going to get it back. And there are many ways to do this. There are many ways to trade. Others trade just like this and hope for their stop loss not to be hit. But you can also just manage your risk by doing it this way. And let's say price, like, let's say my entry is here, but price goes down. I take off 75%. I wait for confirmation, let's say on this gap, or these two at once. I see, okay, from here, I have my confirmation, price will go back up. So I enter with 150% that is still in. Let's say this is $10, $10 entry here. I'm going to be adding, whoa, quick maths, 15. I'm going to be adding like $15. And instead of my entry being here, my entry will be here. Something like that. This is how I trade on simple altcoins. And whenever I'm in with a big marching, I am playing with a stop loss, 100%. Because making bits and bits and bits is nice. But whenever price goes down, you are losing a bunch. Okay? Manage your risk. Come on. Yeah. So what was the original plan for this? Hit it here, retest, continuation up, push it, baby. Make it black, keep that there. And I'm also in ADA ADA.
ADA ADA.
Is that too loud? Sorry. Zooming out on ADA, or Cardano, whatever you want to call it. This is no need for. We have this trend line on the daily, and 3 days just make it a bit easier for me to explain, where we are still in the downtrend. We're still making lower lows, lower highs. Correct? And as of right now, we created a new trend line, a trend line up, which we broke. And I saw it coming from over here already when we made this, where you have this new gap. You can place your short, a wick entry on the daily, price to go towards a gap and a gap, TP1, TP2, maybe even a TP3, but if you see confirmation for a long over here, I would close it, enter a long, just like how this is set right now. If it breaks through this trend line, price could go potentially go towards 1.1003, where we have this gap. Yes, it got filled by this, but this is a weird day. This was 2nd of March and 3rd of March. I think that was the situation with Trump, if I'm not correcting, or like if I'm not wrong. So for me, this is weird price action, which I don't like. So I still think this price over here has a meaning, which is for me that it's important. So I could trade towards here, maybe even further to create not an all-time high, but to go back somewhere over here, okay? But this is something that you have to minimize and maximize your profits. With ADA, we are at 17.40%. Here is your proof. Oh. And I want to see this price, like, based on Sophie, your question, look at the differences that it's having on the other coins, where you see nice price action, and then you have ADA, where this price action is based on wicks. So yes, it did the same. If you draw the line, it did the same, but with wicks. So ADA isn't really convincing for me, And also if you're looking closer on the daily, this is playing so much more with wicks, which is why I'm keeping my eyes on ADA and my stop loss even closer. Like I'm making sure that I'm not going to be in red with ADA. I even want it to go over here. Let me take out some profits. Give me confirmation the price continues true. Retest. I'll add marching here. I'm fine with that. And then I'm gonna check, okay, what's going to happen here? Will it break the trend line? Or will it retrace from a certain, like, sort of a level? Which is roughly over here. Is it? Let's say roughly over here. Yeah, let's call it the level. I could have used an indicator for this, but there's no need for. If you can see it on your eyes, the indicator is just going to make it messy for you. So for this, I am keeping my eyes on it because there is a potential of this price for continuation down. So I'm taking off another 50% over here. Make sure to have profits, stop loss in green, and make sure that you're not going to be losing some. Okay, this is ADA for me, and I wanted to check on SUI as well because I am bearish and bullish on SUI. SUI is, in my eyes, it has no much data at all. Like, what's this? 6th of May. Or is it May? March, sorry. 6th of March. There's no much data on this. So, what if price pushes through the trend line? Where will it go to? Will it go to here? Will it make a new all-time low? You see, so we have this trend line on SUI. We have a head and shoulders creating here. Inverse head and shoulders, my apologies. In combination of this trend line on the hourly being broken. Whoa. Are we breaking it? Is the question. Not yet. We are not yet breaking the trend line here. But if we do, we can look for the 1-day gap. Will it continue through the 1-day gap, just like Bitcoin is doing at the moment? Or will we make a lower high over here, where this short is a potential and a short for the potential of going back to 2.17. So I'm like, just like Bitcoin, I'm very bullish, but most of the coins or other coins are just saying the price wants to go down unless it is creating a higher high here, because then you have your indication. I want a retest on this low, so let's draw a line here, template 1-day gap. So if we want to see this going into the green, give me a sign, retest, continuation up, and then we're gonna have to see, okay, what will price do over here? So I'm making this green. This is potential. Give me a higher high. So we have the indication, confirmation, sky high. Okay. Oh, sorry. Let me make this green. I said the red. I said green, but I did red. Okay. If we don't create this higher high here, and we close below, we close exactly on the daily, we can expect price maybe to break and make a lower low. We will be breaking the trend line. Give me a retest and continuation down. You see? And then obviously we have to see if a new gap is being created here or even here. So perhaps this is happening where I'm making this red and I'm gonna have to adjust a bunch. So let's say price goes to here, yeah? And from here we're gonna have an impulse down. And that impulse is breaking this trend line, making a lower low. Eventually, price went here and went down. So we have this gap over here. Price is breaking down, breaking out of the trend line, retest on the gap, continuation down. This is how I look at it. And going down from here, there's no much data. The only data that we have is this. Give it a name, give it a level. Make sure you keep your eyes closed on here. Sui is a scalp coin for me. I have traded Sui and I have lost money with Sui, which is why I don't like it. But I also make money on Sui. But I think that's with all the coins. Like same with Ethereum. Ethereum was a pain in my yeah, and I'm still trading it. And especially when I like, if I could go back to the end of April, I would have been smacking this TA. And we were pushing the trend line. We broke through the trend line. We went sideways. I wanted confirmation. And eventually it just pumped straight through everything in a day. Okay, Jasmine. You got a new girl, Jasmine? Jasmine. So, how would you be if you had FOMO over here? Holy crap. Imagine, yeah, coin is launching, price going up, going up, going up. We see it pumping. Let's say, okay, let's jump in. Go sky high. We get greedy. We don't take profits. Price jumps down. And we're bankrupt. Holy. Imagine. She follows Ethereum. Is she? Let's see. Trend line. Broken. One day. Perfect line, thank you. I'll take it as a compliment. We have this line with a daily gap. We have this line with a daily gap. So is it following Ethereum? Yes and no. It dip broke through, up, created a new neckline, a new trend line over here, and it broke, giving us the 1 day here, giving us another one here, another one over here. Let's see, price went over here, perfect short. Thank you. Next. Is my sound still good, by the way? In case I have to change it in the future. The more feedback I can get, the better my streams can become. Like same with the music on the background. I'm not sure if I want to, because then you're gonna have problems with copyright and all that stuff. But it's especially if you're new to streaming, it's very hard to talk to barely no one, or like to someone on, you know, just a chat. I see like this is not comparable with Ethereum, but more like Bitcoin, where you have this double top. Retraced a bit on the daily, so it hit that daily here. So yeah, whoa. This making the lower high would have been your indication. And here you have your confirmation, making that lower low. Okay. But setting a short from over here, would it have? Might have just missed it by a couple of dollars, but if you dive into the hourly perhaps, let's see what's happening then. You would have missed it unless you place it on this level. You could have taken it. Okay, let's go back to the daily. No clue how I bought at. You bought this? Where? 0.01622. 1622. Dave, you embarrass me. Nah, kidding. What do we see? What do we want to see here? So your entry is, give me a rough line, give me a line, 0.622, copy, paste. So here's your entry. And you traded this, no clue, double bottom, bullshit, okay. I see no double bottom. I see a trend line going up, yes. Did you go long here? You Mr. FOMO. 8th of May. You've been holding this for a month? Or did you went long over here? Okay. Well, there is a way for you to crush it. Because what did it do? It closed this one. Closed. It closed this one. And just like the other coin that we had, let me just look back real quick. No. Yeah, just like near, that wick was the first close, just like here. So it's okay. And now we are over here, where this has been closed. Did it create that lower low, is the question. It did, but there's a possibility of this trend to be breaking. Because we have this one here, 1 day gap. Let's move this one down a bit, okay. So, what are the odds that they are the same? Give me this. So, shoulder, you have a very long neck. Retest, continuation up. Make this green so Dave is happy again. because this is what we want to see. We want this trend line to be broken. Break the trend line, make a higher high, give us a very small retest, hopefully on this price action, and otherwise it will make a retest on this daily. This looks like something really weird. Oh, your entry is even worse. 1680. Now, you're making it hard for me now, okay? Okay. You can have a potential of getting out of this. I hope you have a very safe liquidation with this. Knowing you have. But just make sure that your stop loss is, or your liquidation is below here. Based on how I know that you trade, you know, make sure that your liquidation is safe there. So let it break. Let it break this trend line. Get a close over here or above, you know, that would be best. And then a retest, continuation up. Create that inverse head and shoulders. Push through, retest on the neckline, possibly this gap. Go back up. And then based on the very zoomed out part, it did retest. Did it retest the start of the impulse? It didn't. So if it doesn't break this trend line, then there is this potential for it to hit the gaps over here and then push up. Because over here we have the trend line, the impulse happening. We want to see it retest, continuation up. But if it breaks here, then maybe go break even. Maybe, because this is still open. And I think going into, yeah, it will be a pain for weeks. I think it was a pain for days. Having a possibility to go break even on this. Careful, because your entry is on a damn level. Here's a level as well. Yeah, so in this scenario, you have a confirmation here that price could go back up here. Entering a small margin here to possibly reduce your entry lower is possible. I'm not saying you have to do it. If you can afford the loss, I would accept the loss and never trade this coin again, based on the experience that you have. And I think I saw a message from you like inside info going bad. Never trade based on information from others. Like I'm giving free TAs, okay? I'm aware of it. But I'm not telling you to buy it now. I'm not telling you to I'm not telling you to buy to app marching. I'm also not a financial advisor. I will just say what I would do in this scenario is either accept the loss, and in a few weeks you would think like, well, if I kept it, I would have been profitable. Yeah, well, I have that with all the coins that I trade. If I go along here and I close it over here, yeah, if I would kept it, I could have doubled the price. Okay, and so what? What if it retraced down here and you jumped off here? It would have been perfect for you. Then you would be happy. There's so many ways on this, you know. That's just out of your control and you have to deal with it basically. I'll scroll down, then okay. Yeah. You do you, Dave. You do you. You mentioned CBCN. And what a mess we have here. I wanted this coin to... I traded this coin. I wanted to see the retest happening over here, which it didn't do yet. I can't even trade on the daily with this coin because there's no much data here in here. Yeah, May 2024, something with May. This is a trend line on the daily, like there's barely any data. So let's dive into the 1 hour where we have gaps open, and with these gaps we can trade as well. So I was short on this one earlier over here, or maybe even over here, because we didn't make that higher high and we didn't break. Well, we created this trend line with this, but it didn't make that higher high. So I went short and waited for the new trend line to be made. And then I saw on the hourly that we were making lower lows here. And I think I told somebody about it. And well, at that time it didn't broke through yet, and I said, you know, my stop loss is in green, which is good. So it was a nice trade there. And it went straight towards the gaps that we had made earlier. And I didn't look into this coin anymore either. So this one can be removed. For the matter of fact, let's just add closed on it. Closed. Yep. This one can be removed because now it is closed. New trend down. Give me the trend line. This is more like the trend that it's having right now. But what am I seeing if I zoom out even more? Okay, so this is closed. Price went down on it 3 times so far, including it touching the level 4 times. We have this gap open. We have more gaps open. So price going down towards here is very possible. And yep, exactly like I thought. This is why we missed the train, and I didn't see it before. But here we have a level which it touched with a wick. And then we continued creating lower highs. Let's remove this and this. Yeah, we've been creating lower highs. We also created lower lows in here. Most likely we will touch this again. This trend line, let's drag it. So we have 2 trend lines now. This one on the hourly and that one, okay. Bots may be in control, not certain though. With this? All of it is pushing, by the way. Except Bitcoin. So I kind of like this earlier, because whenever end of June or beginning of June even, we saw this trend line happening and breaking, I went short here with 130%. And I'm not joking. I'll grab it if I can see it. Yeah. With only a leverage of 10, this coin was insane. I took the shorts from over here. From over here to over here. I saw it retracing up, so I closed it. Look what I did again. Afterwards, and it was, I closed it at 3 a.m. this one. Then at 4 a.m. I opened a new one. This time on a 5 leverage, because this was a bit risky. And I thought, you know, I'm gonna be a bit more secure. So I entered on the gap again, which was 5891, well, a bit above, so something about here. Yeah. And I had a night shift that day, and I was on the phone, and I closed it at 5:42. So I had this trade open for an hour and 40 minutes. And I got really tired, and price went down to 54162, 54162, roughly here, where I closed it because I was tired. Look what it did. Like, if I looked closely, price would go towards this 1 hour gap. Imagine okay, let's say exactly the gap, okay? 62.11%. Calc 62.11 times 5. We had another 130%. If we kept the the 10 leverage, it would have been doubled. But it's okay, because there are way more potentials, way more options, way more moments to take trades. Okay. Is there any other coin on request that we need a new TA on? Let's scroll back up and see. XCN. Yeah, you said XCN as well. Let's see XCN. XCN USDT. I don't think it's this one, is it? I hope it's not this one. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Yeah. Daily. Let's see again. Close, 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 close. I think this was one retracement that I sent you. Just going to start all over again. And I think you have to do this multiple times. Like, whenever you've been drawing a bunch of stuff, you're going to be drawing positive. Same for Bitcoin, I am drawing as if price is going to dump, you know, even though price is pumping. So sometimes you have to remove the stuff or like hide it, and you can just do it with a Control A. Never mind. There's a way to capture it all and then hide it and then just go over it again. But you need to be going through your coins, and sometimes you have to Onyx, I'm in profit. Long, yes, Onyx. You are long on XCN. Okay. Why would you go long here? That's my question. High or high? We got a low. Made it higher high. The first lower low, indication. Eventually the second. This is a lower high. Indication, confirmation. Change of character. Let's go into the downward trend. This one got closed. Closed. This one got closed. Closed. I would say this is closed on the daily, but let's keep it open. Just like this one. Let's keep it open. Because it has been touched in the day. If you went short here to price where it is right now, you would have been in 50%. If. Yep, one third prof position. So you took out 2/3 of profits already? Is that correct? Let me turn on the lights, by the way. Much better. It's 26 degrees here, so I'm a bit red. Sorry. Trend line. What are we looking at? We have this trend line up, down. We have not much information. Let's see if we can find a level based on this. Level, template level. Let's see on the right, what did it do? Okay. Let's move it down a very bit. There we go. This better. This level also was a gap for a long time. Okay. This coin is risky, Dave, because in a day or two it has been pumping and pumping, then it retraced back down and it pumped again. I'm not saying that it's bad, I'm just saying that you have to be careful trading this. 1.014240 dB on 1 hour. Hikings went green. For those that don't know, this is Hikings. Hiking Sashi. Oh no, Hiking Ashi. Ashi. I vowed to never trade it again. On this candle or this coin? Because both would be nice to not trade this. So you traded on. I'm gonna find your entry. Let's find the entry real quick. 1.14240. So you went long here. And then on the 1 hour you had a green candle. Okay. based on the 1 hour where we're going to. Based on the 1 hour. What you need to see on this coin is break this trend, make a higher high, and let me not look into this anymore. Holy crap. Yeah, same situation. Like, so Aiki and Ashi are candles that really show you what it's really doing. A bit more child friendly, if you ask me. However, you're going to miss details, in my opinion, like smaller gaps. Because in here it made that gap. Let it create this inverse head and shoulders. If your entry is here, keep it there. Maybe put your stop loss above, so you're profitable 100%. Stop loss on entry now will not add to it. Good. Let it push through. Create this first higher high here. Retrace on this gap. And then go back up. So, hourly. Retrace here. Go back up. Now you have this line here, which is an hour gap. This line as well, hour. This line as well, hour. Okay, so you have a nice head and inverse head and shoulder potential. 1 hour. And you also made a first higher low. Okay. So you have a indication here. Indication, you made a first higher low. Okay. Now we need to see it creating a first higher high. Not on this, but on this. Which is why let it retrace on the hourly. Let it go back here. If your entry is here, put your stop loss here. I think that one is safe. And if it goes back, there's a slightly chance that it will continue back, going downwards. So make sure that at least it's either here or, you know, just a bit above your entry. That's also fine. But make sure that it's that you're not going to lose money in this one. So it is having a same pattern like the other ones, basically. And here we already have like a red candle, which on the hiking, you don't have it. You're missing detail. You see? This one is what I want. So, let it break this here. 1 hour. Sorry. It closed this gap here now. But you have your confirmation in 30 minutes. Long scalp in a sense. Yeah, so close above, retest, continuation up, then make sure price goes here, retrace down, go back up, make a higher high on the hourly above this important level, price thingy. Okay, so if I'm going to be drawing all of it out, this is forming the inverse head and shoulders, retest on the neckline, pushing through, making the first higher high, retest on that old gap, hitting it again, and continuation up, up. This also creates your new trend line like this, obviously, and then you need to check, okay, are we still accepting this trend line or not? I am already over my time. Crap. I'll have to clock it around now. You have your answer here, Dave. So make sure at least you're safe with this. But if your entry is over here, then I think you're totally fine. Just a quick note for everyone that is new in here. We are having a Discord called Crypto Club Academy where I shared my TAs for free, which is the Bitcoin TA, which is still pushing. Holy guacamole. We are 23%, 21%, 26%, 50%, and 88% as we speak on Ripple. Nice. Just like the other coin, just like XCN on the hourly, it is pushing through. So what XCN is doing on the hourly is Bitcoin doing on the daily. It's actually quite funny. So what we want from Bitcoin to close above here. So close above this red line, black line. Then a possible retracement down because it broke this trend line. Yeah, well, I'm gonna just move that around real quick. So it broke this trend line where you have a gap here now, but also here. And especially on the daily, you have one here. So let's just take the daily. So it is pushing through. It might even go in here between those two lines to create this higher high. Like to break that higher high momentum. Retrace down. This is the point where I'm going to add more marching. And this is the point where I'm going to be selling not all of it, but like half of my marching, which is currently at 23%. So I'm just going to take off like 50% again, or just a bit. Not really sure yet. And for those that are very known to trading, whenever you have your tracement of price going down, of price shifting down towards this area of interest, they can short it, but be careful. Because go with the flow, the trend is your friend. Trading is waiting, and I've been waiting for this short since here. Like on the hourly we broke through as well. We went down where you created this gap on the hourly, but also on the daily. It retested that gap. Look where price went. Based on this level then, okay? So 101.3, 7%-ish. These gaps ain't lying, I'm telling you. Make sure to check out the Discord. Discord is in the description from this stream. It is totally for free. My TAs are for free until 18th of June on the Wednesday. Then we are going to close it into the gold membership again. But yeah, I'm sharing these TAs, so make sure to join them. And I'm sharing these TAs maybe on a daily or like, you know, 1 or 2 days I'm going to give it an update. Same for altcoins like Near, XRP, Gala. I have them all in there. And it's all when price, was about to touch our point or touching our point, etc. Trump, if you're watching, I missed the boat. Just a quick one for Trump as well. Same situation, give it a go. Go over here, give me that short, or go over here and then give me that short down to 830. That's what I want. But guys, don't over trade yourself. Zoom out, zoom in. Post your BitUnix link, amigo. The BitUnix link is the first link on the description. The second link is from the website from Crypto Club Academy, and then you have the Discord link as well. The website is still being dived into, especially with like translations and stuff. But the Discord is totally English for now. Also some Dutchies. But there's this bot where you can translate your text basically. So yeah, feel free to join us on the BitUnix community, but especially on the Crypto Club Academy, where we also give out courses to learn how to trade this, because like it's not that hard if you know how to do it. But it's the same like driving. Like at first it's very hard to do, or like the bicycle. But afterwards you're cycling without hands or driving without hands. Well, don't do it, but you know what I mean. Like, whenever you learn something, you become good and better at it. And then things will become easier for you. If there are no further questions, then I'm going to be closing this stream. And if you do still have questions, I'm also going to be closing the stream, but then you can ask them into the Discord. Yep. For next week, I will not be online on the Sundays. So I will be notifying for my next stream on Discord and on my Instagram as well, in case you follow that as well. Okay. Until then, have a great night. For me, it's 9:30, 9:40. I'm tired. Yeah.